Battle through the firmament. Grand world. Chapter 387. An ancient legacy. What entered his eyes was a dusky space. Powerful origin monic kiss were overflowing in all directions, causing Xiaoyan, who had just appeared, to feel suffocated. He was almost hit to the ground. What is this place? Xiaoyan raised his head and looked over. His sharp soul force was completely useless in this place. It could not penetrate through at all. He could only rely on his eyes to size it up. In the distance, the origin monic kiss were even denser, and they were viscous into liquid form. After carefully feeling it for a moment, the wild joy in Xiaoyan's eyes instantly disappeared. The origin monic key in this place could not be absorbed and refined at all. This caused Xiaoyan's idea of cultivating here to fail. The Xiaoao appeared on Xiaoyan's shoulder at this moment. He looked around in shock and couldn't help but exclaim. The origin monic key here is actually so dense. It's almost the same as all the origin kiss stored within a saint body. As he spoke, the Xiaoao's small hand made a grabbing motion in the void. Its small nose moved, and it stuck out its tongue. Xiaoyan, the origin monic kiss here aren't suitable for your cultivation. These origin monic kiss have been here for a long time, and they were also left behind by the ancient experts. Perhaps there are some strange changes. Xiaoyan nodded his head and pondered for a moment. He took out the storage ring that Elder Yi had left behind. The dark black spiritual light on the storage ring flickered continuously. The ancient ruins on the storage ring were mottled. It was obvious that it had been tempered by the passage of time. Xiaoyan sent his soul force into the storage ring and carefully took out a rusty oil lamp. On the wick of the lamp, there was a rusty oil lamp. There was a blue flame that looked like it was about to be extinguished. The flame was like a demonic drop of water that trembled when Xiaoyan took it out, as if it would disappear at any moment. Xiaoyan's heart trembled when he saw it. The blue flame was the monic flame that Elder Yi once possessed. Refining monic High Tianyan was ranked 24th on the monic flame. This drop of water was refining monic High Tianyan's sovereign fire source, and it had suffered a great loss. After hesitating for a moment, Xiaoyan gritted his teeth. He covered his palm with the origin key and slowly took the flame out from the wick. He looked at the vortex-like origin monic key and finally steeled his heart. He pushed the flame into the middle of the vortex. At this moment, Xiaoyan was also gambling. If he succeeded, it would be the rebirth of a monic flame. If he failed, refining monic High Tianyan would completely disappear from this world. 1,000 years later, in a certain corner of the great world. Perhaps he would be born again, just like what Elder Yi had said. Sacred objects were all inheriting the will of the great world, and only one of them would dissipate. The next one would appear. There were no two similar holy objects in the world. Weng, the blue water droplet was pushed to the center of the origin key whirlpool like a weak wind. The huge origin key instantly rushed over and completely covered it. Under Xiaoyan's nervous gaze, the last trace of blue light dissipated with a loud bang and was wrapped by the origin key layer by layer. Xiaoyan's heart thumped when he saw the blue light dissipate. His facial expression changed dramatically. The Xiaoao could only smack its tongue when it saw this. It thought to itself that Xiaoyan was too reckless. The sovereign fire source of a monic flame had just vanished from the world just like that. Qi. While Xiaoyan was secretly furious, a glaring blue light suddenly shone from the center of the origin key whirlpool. After that, the sound of roaring waves suddenly resounded in the sky. In a trance, Xiaoyan saw a boundless blue ocean. Huge waves that could destroy the heaven and earth surged over, as if they were going to shatter thousands of worlds. As the waves surged, all things that dared to block them were completely crushed. Wu. Xiaoyan quickly recovered his senses. In the center of the origin key vortex, a drop of strange blue water was rotating slowly. It was like a hungry wolf that was choosing to devour its prey, crazily absorbing all the origin monic kiss. It succeeded. Seeing that the drop of water was safe and sound, the Xiaoao was somewhat dumbfounded. This was the first time he had seen the sovereign fire source recover in such a way. It should be. Xiaoyan took a deep breath. His hanging heart had finally calmed down. Even though he had gone through countless trials and tribulations, the scene just now had scared him to death. Chi chi chi. Xiaoyan could clearly feel the flow of the origin monic kiss beside him even from a distance. All of them were rushing towards the blue water droplet. In just a moment, Xiaoyan could feel that the surrounding origin monic kiss seemed to have become a little thinner. That's good. The Xiaoao also relaxed and gently exhaled. Xiaoyan calmed down and looked around again. As the origin monic key became thinner, he could see more places. When he saw a place, his eyes widened and his face was filled with disbelief. Where he looked, he saw a huge axe that was the size of a mountain. It was quietly being corroded by the rust of time. The handle of the axe was broken. Although it was protected by the origin monic key, it had lost its original power and turned into a pile of scrap metal. Such a powerful weapon. Could it be that the ancient experts have the giant tribe? Xiaoyan widened his eyes and looked at the mountain axe at the end of his line of sight as he mumbled to himself. It's not a giant tribe. It should be an extraordinary expert of the barbarian region. The expert amongst them can turn his body into the size of a mountain. He can be considered the strongest tribe in the great world. The Xiaoao swallowed a mouthful of water. In the past, he had only heard of it. This was the first time he had seen such a large weapon, and it shocked him. To be able to survive for so long, he should have at least reached the level of a sacred artifact. What a pity, what a pity. The Xiaoao was filled with regret. Even sacred artifacts had become a pile of scrap metal. Even the true Supreme Saint had turned into dust in the passage of time. Xiaoyan nodded silently. Although the ultimate saint expert was immortal, it referred to the seed of the soul. The physical body and even the soul would still dissipate. Only the consciousness would remain. However, in this place, no matter how powerful the consciousness was, it would ultimately scatter into all things, allowing all things to obtain a trace of spirituality. Xiaoyan's body moved, and he slowly walked forward. Refining Monic Hai Tianyan's recovery temporarily did not need him, and he was unable to cultivate here. He could only walk around and see for himself. Perhaps there would be some ancient expert left behind. Xiaoyan, look! The Xiaoao suddenly cried out. Xiaoyan looked in the direction of his finger and saw a huge dragon floating at the end of his line of sight. The huge dragon had a ferocious face, and its body looked like it was made of molten iron. It was filled with unparalleled strength. Even though they were thousands of miles away, Xiaoyan could still feel the coldness coming from the scales of the huge dragon. This is probably the descendant of the 4 spirits from the previous generations, and its body is incomparably strong. That's why its body didn't dissipate like a human's. It's a pity that it's already a dried corpse. Otherwise, if I could obtain a drop of blood essence, the Azure Dragon Arts would definitely be able to reach the level of the Holy Arts. The Xiaoao let out a regretful sigh. He mumbled to himself. Xiaoyan smiled bitterly when he heard this. Even if he didn't become a dried corpse, it was difficult for him to even walk with every step he took here. How could he fly to the dragon's side? Even if he could, how could he fly to the dragon's side? With his little ability, could he even bleed the dragon? Just based on his feeling, the toughness of the dragon's body was far beyond that of the dark golden beast, perhaps even a Monic cultivation warrior. Hong Long. Shaking his head, Xiaoyan once again walked forward. He was blocked by the thick origin Monic key. Every step he took consumed a lot of energy. After walking for about half an hour, Xiaoyan once again saw something drifting in the air. It was only a few steps away from Xiaoyan, but it looked rather familiar. It was a millstone-sized iron ore. Starlight flickered on it, but it was not damaged at all. There were exactly 2 pieces of this kind of fine iron ore in Xiaoyan's storage ring. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.